Chris was out there in the training field. How's everything going? Is he part of this team? Is he signed?
We have nothing official right now. Obviously, he is here. I can confirm that is Victor Rodriguez, most recently of Gijon in Spain. We have some paperwork that we have to work through, but we are hopeful. This was the announcement that we teased on Saturday on national TV, and we are hopeful that once we get those documents in order, that we'll have something this week in terms of him officially becoming a part of the team.
He's a player that's had up and down in his career. What did you see in him and bringing him down here to Seattle Sounders?
We think he's a very good technical player. We want to continue to add very good technical players because we want to be a good soccer playing team. And we think his pedigree, he's a TAM level signing. So again, if you look at our track record of TAM level signings, Roman Torres, Kelvin Leerdam, we feel like those guys have been pretty successful so far. So obviously we have some high hopes. This is a player that's played over 100 times in La Liga. I don't think we've had a La Liga player come in here before. So I think that's a pretty high level from a global game perspective, and that leads us to believe that he has a good chance of success. Specifically, this is a player that Chris Henderson has scouted for almost 2 years now. He's seen him multiple times live, and I want to give Chris a lot of credit because he really was dogged about this one. As a player that we've tracked for a long time, and he had never been available, and then suddenly, honestly, he popped up and was available, and we thought, okay, well, this is a guy that we've been tracking for a while, and we're pretty excited about. So definitely, optimistic that we'll be able to complete the last steps and be able to add him this week.
Is that all including like registration and everything that he'd be cleared to play at the weekend, or?
I think it's unlikely he's going to be ready for the weekend. We obviously have to do fitness assessments and stuff and that stuff, but the documents, the visa, the player pass, and there's some other things that we still got to get done. So don't anticipate him for this weekend.
If and when it does.
Transfer?
Yes.
If and when it gets done.
If it's completed. Sorry.
If and when it gets done, where do you see him plug in?
I think the two most unsettled spots in our team in the first half of the season, for better or worse, were right back and left wing. We had guys that we thought would compete for those spots and potentially lock them down, but that's not what happened. And so what we really want for the second half of the season is stability and good, consistent options. So I think one of the spots that Victor will compete for if we sign him is at left wing, in the line of three with Dempsey and Ladero. But certainly we like about him that he's a versatile player. We believe he can play anywhere in that band of three. And again, he's a good technical player, and a pinch could maybe even go back and play as an 8. So he's a guy that we think really helps us. Look, as a GM, I want to give my coaching staff options. I think by signing Victor, we give our coaching staff some more options. And again, it is a guy that we've made an investment in, and we think can have a bright future for us.
We were seeing reports yesterday that Jovan Jones is signed in Germany. Can you confirm that that's the case, or is there any information you can give on that situation?
Yep, I can confirm that. Jovan is signed with Darmstadt effective January 2018. This was a risk when we traded for him. Honestly, he's a really good player. You are seeing some good players move with an MLS, but if you go back to that time, it really was surprising that he was available. And one of the reasons was, is that he didn't have a long-term contract in the league, and we had conversations with him about trying to secure that, but we knew this day might come, and ultimately Jovan chose to go to Germany, and long predating me when Adrian Hanauer was the general manager here. I think we have a pretty sterling reputation with the Sounders of honoring our players' wishes and also being a participant in the international marketplace. And it's certainly exciting when we sign players and we add players, and hopefully we're able to add Victor pretty soon. But the reality is also that we're going to have players going out the other way. And if anything, when our players leave, we want them to do well. When we sell Obafemi Martins, when we sell DeAndre Yedlin, when we sell Freddie Montero, if those guys go abroad and perform well, that's going to generate a marketplace for our guys. And so it's not that we feel badly when a player leaves, that different guys are going to choose different things for different points of their career. But we believe that in terms of investing in our club and growing our club, we have to be a participant in this transfer marketplace.
You said you guys made an effort to try to keep him around and lock him down for longer. How close do you think you guys got in terms of that?
It's a yes or no, man. I'm a lawyer, and we did not reach an agreement, and so I don't have a lot else to offer in terms of color, other than to say we made a significant offer, and we would have liked to retain him, but it wasn't the lack of resources or anything like that. It was his choice. He wanted to go, and he went.
Whose presence do you think softens the blow a little bit? Like, do you guys feel like you have a guy who can slot in and take over that role when Jovan does leave?
Look, we're excited about Nuhu's progress. You've heard us say that in a couple different ways, but I would also say that nothing's given and nothing's assured. I mean, he's a young player, and yes, he has potential, but particularly in the second half of the season, what changes is not the longer progression of potential, but the shorter progression of performance. What we want is to defend our title. When we signed Jovan, we were comfortable with a potentially 18-month engagement because we thought he could help us win a title. He did that. We've had the return on that investment. Can Nuhu help us down the road? Yeah, but the better guy is going to play, and nothing is assured for anybody. And our goal is to one thing very simple, and that's to defend our title in the second half of the season.
Was there other teams interested in Joevin Jones?
I assume. I mean, again, to me, Nico, not at all to dismiss the question, but when I get asked about have we had trade interest or interest from other clubs, yes, that's my job. I talk to other teams about players, and we do that all day long, and it's something that's part of the business. So,
A run of 6 unbeaten, players back from international break and injury. Where do you think this team is now for the second half of the push?
I think we're in a good spot. I think that we're playing pretty well. Frustrating maybe that we don't get to winning in LA, but think about that statement. We didn't win for a decade, I think, in LA, and the last 3 games, I think we have 2 wins and a draw. So things are trending positively there. As you said, we're in a pretty patch. I think even in a bigger scale, I think we're maybe 6-2-3 in the last 11 thereabouts, which is just under 2 points a game. It's a Supporters Shield level pace, and that's not an insignificant chunk of games. That's a third of the season. So excited about this. Excited. We've been able to add 2 players so far in this window, 2 TAM level guys in Leardom and in Victor, if we're able to add Victor. And that's exciting. Again, I thought we had 2 positions that I would call unsettled, and we always want solutions first from within our group. But when we had those positions remain unsettled for a while, we went out and found other solutions. So, look, I think this team is, if anything, better than it was at this point. Certainly better than we were a year ago at this time, but I think in general better than even the team that won the title. And so I think we're putting ourselves in a strong position going forward.
If Victor does sign and that goes through, do you anticipate more signings within the window?
Possible. Obviously, we're not going to go on vacation with 8 days left, and we do talk to people every day about their transactions. But again, I don't have any predictions at this point. It's something, and I said this again over the weekend. But if we get a DP deal that makes sense, we have the ability to do it. We are not going to go out and make a 3 to 5 year DP investment on a guy that we don't think is special or we don't think is the right investment for the club, because we think the team's pretty good, because we think we have a chance to defend the title with the group of guys that we got out here right now. And again, just been really impressed with performances of the group, the consistent effort now, and really feel like we're trending in a really positive direction. That's our read right now.
With all the obstacles that the MLS sometimes has in regards to bringing players in, how hard is it to negotiate with players that are in Europe and have these huge clauses and things of that nature?
There's always tricky stuff in every contract. Different cultures, different languages. It's always different issues every deal. But obviously, it ultimately comes down to, does the player want to come? And we found with Calvin and going back to last year with Ladero, and this is what I say, that the players ultimately choose, and you can offer a contract and say, we'd love to have you back, but it's up to them. It's a free country, and that's a good thing. Everyone gets to choose where they want to play, how they want to play, and we feel like we have a strong enough organization that, we're going to be able to recruit and attract and retain enough good players that we're in contention every year. And again, I think we're trending that way. I think we're showing that right now on the field, and I think in this window we've gotten better. We've addressed 2 positions of need, and going forward, we're not going to be able to keep every player by any means, and there's always tricky stuff in every contract. That's what I'd say, Nico.
There been several reports linking strongly Derleys and Sounders FC. Do you have any thoughts on the player or anything regarding those rumors?
We cannot comment on a player under contract to another club.